to those who are unfamiliar with the sport of surfing, to see the Hawaiian and American teams compete separately, that can catch the attention of some people, and many would naturally wonder why. The history and reasons for separate Hawaiian and American surfing teams are quite basic, but at the same time, the reasons are very detailed. The concept and origin of surfing is actually credited to the ancient Hawaiians who used to surf atop gigantic planks of palm trees along the beaches all across the Hawaiian Islands. The British were among the first Europeans to witness and document aspects of surfing for the Western world. Because of the rich and ancient importance of surfing in Hawaii, it obtained a very high position as a sport of competition and relaxation within Hawaii and eventually other regions of the South Pacific. However, the Hawaiians were considered the best and most skilled out of all the peoples in Polynesia in terms of skill and physical condition of its surfers, who were both male and female. There was no gender bias in terms of who could surf and who could not. The Kingdom of Hawaii was later annexed into the United States of America for geopolitical reasons in 1898. But even after that, the Hawaiians kept surfing separate from American organizations established, formed, and set up after the Second World War. Hawaii was not made a state until 1959. But even then and now, Hawaii is so far away geographically, politically, socially, and culturally from the rest of mainland America, it was and still is different. Surfing is partaken from the rich and independent culture and legacy of Hawaii, and because of this, the Hawaiian Islands have very much to be its own separate surfing nation. This was not questioned, even after statehood and modern politics. But soon, politics and agendas in the 1970s and 1980s had events held in Hawaii and not on the western coasts of American states such as California. Surfers and people in Hawaii started to have separate events and competitions, and this reinforced the desire and confusion of keeping Hawaiian surfing teams separate from American teams. This separation essentially made the current status quo, as is and should never change. Modern groups of citizens in Hawaii lobby to keep a governing body of professional surfing separate for recognition. This separation has been viewed as a source of pride, as once again reminding the world that Hawaii were the pioneers of what would now be considered modern surfing. A legendary figure of Hawaiian surfing, Duke Kahanamoku, a native Hawaiian, competed for the United States in the 1912, 1920, 1924, and 1930 Summer Olympic Games to make things even more complicated. The legality behind the situation with Hawaii and America having different surfing organizations is that of the World Surf League, as well as other organizations. At times, even the International Surfing Association's view on the subject can be at times, Hawaii is just a state, so you can represent the state itself without fringing upon the country's status or diminish it in any possible way. A number of times, surfers representing Hawaii can be born within the state or the islands, but not technically a native Hawaiian by blood or even Polynesian heritage. Others might be of Polynesian descent or even Hawaiian and consider it a source of their heritage and pride. So there are different levels of emotional connection to the surfing distinction. One key reason why so many in Hawaii would now want to keep surfing organizations separate is that a view in the islands is that they view the United States mainland as exploiting the Hawaiian waters for their own gains and benefits. After the Second World War, the Americans viewed surfing as actually outdated and primitive. It wasn't until the 1960s and 1970s when tiki bars and Polynesian torches began to attract the American view to the South Pacific region once again. Hawaiian viewpoints that can be with the various mainland American sponsored competitions come into the small Hawaiian beaches on a yearly basis. This can and has attracted unwanted attention and crowds into these beaches and locations, with the chaos leaving just as quickly as it arrives once the competitions are finished. A final view is that a sport as simple as surfing can define what the islands can be, its own culture and heritage. Within the United States of America, the Hawaiian Islands and the state of Hawaii is one of the smallest populations in terms of people living in an area or said region. It's a stark contrast and something those from the Hawaiian Islands, either by heritage or by birth, don't necessarily want to change. With surfing as an Olympic sport now, the International Olympic Committee has also upheld the International Surfing Association and World Surfs League decision to keep Hawaii separate from the United States. But politics might force those who might otherwise want to represent Hawaii not in terms of politics, but as where the sport originated from or where they were born in, to wave the American flag instead of the Hawaiian flag. Similar surfing situations arise in Tahiti, where the Tahitians might hold the French flag for competitions either willingly or by force. The status quo has remained in effect for over 100 years, and has essentially bothered no one and harmed no one as well. Only now, in modern times, with modern situations, might this change.